Young 15-year-old black kid shot point blank in New York. Fatherless kids all around. You can tell all these kids around them sitting there watching, ain't got no daddies at home. It's disgusting, man. The way that this entire nation has turned, these fatherless kids are harassing the streets. I go into the courtrooms every week and see these kids. You look across, ain't no daddies in there. 1 out of 20 may have a daddy in the courtroom, where these kids are the ones out violating our communities in our neighborhood, and almost all of them are black. But then we want to talk about all these social justice issues and these issues and that issues. The issue is we ain't got black daddies in the house.
And see, here's the thing, and look, we do have some black daddies in the house. But if you're a black daddy in the house and you're neutered, in other words, your woman is telling you what you can and can't do with your kids and threatening to call the police on you, and you got daughters that are out of pocket and threatening to call the police and this, that, and the other, then you're neutered. You can't put that authority down. Let me tell you something. I know y'all might not like to hear what I have to say. And I know. But at a young age, you got to instill the fear of God into your children. And you need to be sitting as God in that place. They need to fear you. Don't try to be your children's friends when they're little. Scare them to death. Threats, scaring them, and sometimes corporal punishment, because that's the only thing to work. That fear and and reverence that they have for you is the same that they're gonna have for authority. You got to do it. You can't be a daddy and be the good guy in the relation. You can't be the good guy. You're not their friends. There'll be time enough for you to be friends with your children when they become adults. As their children, you don't need to be their friends. And the respect they have with you is going to be the same respect they have for authority. Their teachers, the cops, the other law enforcement figures they deal with, other adults. That's how you do it. And I know that's not popular to say. And we got a lot of mothers who will jump in and say, oh, you being too hard on my baby. You saving your son's life, especially. You saving your daughter's life. I'm trying to help y'all. It's hard to raise children in 2026. But what we can't lose is the fact that the kids need to learn to respect authority. You don't have to like what I'm saying. I got 3 boys, and I see how it works. I know it worked for me. I come from a long line of very harsh, disciplinary, oriented black men. And that's why I'm successful, because without discipline, it's like having you got a wild stallion running around the countryside. But we'll let the brother finish speaking. You know, you want to keep your son out of the penitentiary, teach him some discipline early and self-control.
And this is a problem that we need to try to fix as black men. We are letting our own communities and our country down. We're a disgrace to the world. Disgrace to the world. 70% of our kids ain't got no mom and daddy together in the house with them raising them. And we don't think that's a problem? It's biblical. The last verse of the Old Testament. He shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. The curse that we're seeing right now is that curse, the fatherlessness curse.
Now, I'm going to take the time to address this, because a brother said this, and I don't want to take the time. But he made a good point. Nobody is asking. Brother, I'm trying to find a brother's quote. He said, nobody is asking why the fathers aren't in the house. Okay? Nobody's asking why the fathers aren't in the house. And that's a very good question. It's a very good question. And I'm going to take the opportunity to address that question. I divorced my first wife when my oldest son was 2.5 and my middle son was 1. I fought for extra time. I spent money with lawyers. I only had my children on paper 6 days out the month. But what I would do is I would offer to pick my children up from school, which usually lets out daycare, let out, and then they'll get out by 6. So I'd have to pick them up by 5:30 and take them to extracurricular activities that I paid for, like karate and jujitsu and other sorts of sports. That presented me with an opportunity to see my children almost every day, even if they didn't spend the night. So what I did, fellas, was I understood that I was divorced from my ex-wife, but I didn't allow that to separate me from my children. So in effect, I would see my children Monday, I would see them Tuesday, I would see them Wednesday, I would see them Thursday, and maybe I wouldn't see them Friday, but I would see them again the following Monday. Now on those weekends where I had them, I'd see them every day. And in that 30-minute time period, I get a chance to debrief them. How was your day? That 30-minute drive, driving over to the activity, sit on the side, watch them do their activity for an hour, and then 30 minutes driving back home to their mama's house. I made that sacrifice because these are my children. See, you don't ask the question, why isn't the father there? What you do is try to figure out, how can I be present in my children's life? Because kids don't care why you're not there. All they know is you weren't there. They don't care if mama put you on child support. They don't care if, you had a bad relationship with your mom. I didn't even have to see their mother. I simply picked them up at school, dropped them off in front of their house, and they went on in. I watched them walk in, and I went on about my day. I would travel overseas. I'm literally the OG passport bro. I would leave this country. My kids would go home on Sunday at 6 p.m. By Monday at 6 a.m., I was at the airport. And those weekends when I didn't have them, I would take a 9-day trip. But I would be back on Thursday or Wednesday so that I can pick them up Thursday from school just so I can have my 2-hour visit. And everything else I negotiated with their mother home. I did a little tricking on their mama, bought her some gifts, made sure they took her flowers for Valentine's Day, make sure they bought their mama gifts. That's what you have to do. If she has the power, that's what you got to deal with. You got to play the game. I had a whole TV show called Co-Parenting with the Sperlings, dedicated to all the sycophanted butt kissing I did to my ex-wife just so I could have time with my children. Because that's the sacrifice. Big old me with my big old ego had to bow down. And see, now here we are. I have a great relationship with my older sons. Now, my youngest son, because I didn't learn the first time. My youngest son. It's been hell. I've spent $160,000. $160,000 fighting in court for my youngest son. I didn't marry that woman. I was like, I ain't gonna get married. I'm gonna just have a baby. Stupid me. But the bottom line is I never stopped fighting. So my son knows, hey, and eventually began to pay off about 4 years ago. He started having to come out here on a regular basis. Cost me a lot of money. But again, nothing is more important than your children. Some of y'all live in the same town with y'all baby mamas. Let's just keep it 100. Some of y'all, I was once told, man, you got to keep it the way you got her. If you was tricking and paying, keep tricking and paying so you can see your kids. You got to appease that taming of the shrew. You got to do what you got to do. It's not going to last forever. The truth is, from about 1 to 10 years old, 11, 12 years old, that's when you need to spend an intense amount of time with your children. Really, for fathers, it's somewhere, especially boys, from about 4 to about 14. After that, they don't need you anymore like that. They know who their father is. They have a relationship with you. But you have to make that sacrifice. Otherwise, your seed, your legacy, and I've already told you guys the most important thing to me is my legacy, which means, and the most important aspect of that is my children. And you have to put your children first. It's no longer about you. It's no longer about your ego. It's about your sons. So I really don't want to hear the excuse of why you can't spend time with your sons and your daughters because the baby mama is mean or your ex-wife is mean. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got. Yeah, she got a new boyfriend. Say hello to him. You understand what I'm saying? It's about the kids at that point. You got to suck it up, fellas. You don't have to like her. It was at some point I got an Uber to pick my kids up and bring them to I was like, praise God. I ain't got to see them no more. You understand? But you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do, fellas. But or don't have them. If you're not prepared to be a sycophant, look, the laws give the women the kids. And the truth is you want it that way. Let me be honest. I know I shouldn't be going on over there. Oh, Lord, let me. You don't want to watch them kids. You don't want to take those kids when they got ear infections. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that, fellas. We see how fathers watch their kids. Get up. All right. Hold on there. We don't, you're not prepared to do that. You prepared to do what society typically says. Work, get up, make some money, pay your little child support. But you got to go that extra effort for your kids, man. It is what it is. I've been on child support damn near 20 years. On top of all the other stuff. So I don't really want to hear it. If your children are important to you, you'll spend money on. You can't look. I just really started spending money on myself. I focus all my money on my kids, on my children. I'm just saying, family, and they recognize that. That's why we had a relationship that we do. They know that daddy fought for them. Come over here. Come over here. I know you're busy. I know you got stuff to do. Come on over here. Come on over here. Come down here. This is one of them. I think he thinks he's a redneck truck driver. How you doing, sir? That's a nice hat you got on. What is that thing? Huh? Look, I'm trying to explain to these people all the stuff I did when you was a little boy. Remember how you tell them how your average day when you were little, when we used to go across town to Black Ride. Tell them about your average week. Introduce yourself to the people first. This is the third. Somebody typed the third in the chat room. This is Dennis Sperling the third. Go ahead. Technically, but not technically. Go ahead, sir. Please explain to.
On Mondays after school, you pick us up and then we go to I think Black Karate and
What is they don't know what Black Karate?
Our Kung Fu class.
Kung Fu.
And then after that, on Tuesdays we would go to our jiu-jitsu class at like 5, and then and then I think we like switch between the two in the week, and up until Friday we ended on jiu-jitsu again, I think, and then on Saturday and Sunday we go to Shotokan at 9.
And who would take you to these things? Our dad. Would that be me?
Yes.
Would I pick you up in my own car?
Yes.
Okay. So, and how long did I do that? How many years did I do that?
Until like 2018, so like 6 years.
6 years. When did you start doing Black Karate? How old were you?
It was 2012. I was like 7.
Well, I think you was 6.
Oh.
No, you was 7. You might have been. It was 2013, and then Roman started right after you, right?
Yes.
So what did you realize that you drive now, right?
Yes.
You see how much driving that is that our daddy was doing in the car?
Yes.
It's a lot of driving, huh? Do you realize now why I went to go pick you up and spent that time with you?
So that we could have like a relationship with you as our dad, so you talk to us.
Did daddy talk a lot in the car on the ride over?
Yes.
What did I talk about in the car on the ride? A lot of stuff.
Yes.
What kind of stuff did I talk about in the car?
You would tell us that like controlling our emotions.
Oh, what did daddy tell you about controlling your emotions? What was the easy to remember phrase that I taught you when you were a little boy about controlling your emotions?
Control your emotions or your emotions will control you.
Say it loud.
Control your emotions, or your emotions will control you.
And how old were you when I start brainwashing you with that rhetoric?
6.
You got somewhere to go? Let me see your phone. Who's this calling us? We busy. We talking to the people. You want your little college tuition paid? You better talk to these people. Tell them. Go ahead. By the way, he's an engineering student. What's the engineering? What kind of engineering is it?
Civil engineering.
He's a civil engineering student. And he just finished his first year of college. And how many credit hours do you have?
46.
He has 46, and he's current taking how many more?
9.
9 credit hours in the summer. And why are you taking all these credit hours? And you only supposed to have 30 for the first year. And how many do you have?
I have 46.
And how many more are you going to have when you finish?
When I finish this class, I should have 50, 55.
That's his first year of college. And why is it that you're moving so fast to get through college?
I want to graduate early.
And who put that on your mind?
Both of us.
Oh, boy, you trying to, boy. Anyway.
I didn't.
All right, man, I'm going to let it. He got stuff to do. He's a college man. But my whole point is, man, say this. Did that help us form a relationship that because of those little times I spent with you, did that help you learn your daddy more? And you think you'll be the same person if I just saw you 6 days a week, like the schedule said, do you think we'd have the same relationship? Did I pay for all these activities, all these made up activities and stuff like that?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? That's the sacrifice you make. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Sir, go ahead and hop in the big rig. Get anyone wants to send him a trucker hat, go ahead. I'll make sure he goes ahead and wears that for you. If you have a trucker business or something like that. See you later, sir. Please don't park on the grass with your big rig. But anyway, so again, family, you know, the proof is in the pudding. I'm trying to tell y'all that you have to make that sacrifice for you. Now, I got 3 of them. That was this one. I got that one over there and that one over there. He's very soft-spoken, very quiet, very kind young man. He just started his own little construction business. I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, family, like I said, you got to make that sacrifice for fatherhood. And that's one of the keys moving forward in the Black community.